Japan has one of the best train systems in the world, and Tokyo in particular has one of the largest and busiest rail networks anywhere on the planet. At the same time, Tokyo's train system is also known for being pretty complicated. Even many Japanese people struggle to navigate it the first time they visit Tokyo. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to use Tokyo's train system smoothly, even if it's your first time here. I'll explain things like how to buy an IC card, how to use maps effectively, and I'll actually take a train and show you a real example. First, let's go over some basic information and a few things that tend to confuse people. You probably already know that Tokyo has a huge number of train lines. But what many people don't realize is that they are actually operated by several different companies. First, there is JR. JR is the biggest railway company in Japan. In Tokyo, many of the most important lines are run by JR, like the Yamanote line. Next, there are the subway systems, Tokyo Metro and Toei Subway. Both of these operate underground train lines around central Tokyo. And finally, there are private railway companies like Tokyu, Keikyu, and Keio. Even though these are completely different railway companies, the way you use them is basically the same. Another thing that can make Tokyo trains confusing is that many of these lines run through each other. So sometimes you might get on a JR train and without even noticing it, the train continues onto a completely different railway line. This is one of the first things that tends to confuse visitors. Another confusing point is that even if stations have the same name, the entrances can be different depending on which company operates them. For example, in Shibuya, there is a Tokyo Metro Shibuya Station, the Keio Inokashira Line Shibuya Station, the JR Shibuya Station, and the Tokyu Shibuya Station, and each of them has different entrances. So if you want to take the Ginza line operated by Tokyo Metro but accidentally enter the JR Shibuya Station, it can be difficult to find the train you actually want. So that's something you should be careful about. Later in this video during an example trip, I'll show you how to avoid this confusion and find the correct entrance. Next, let's talk about the types of trains. In Tokyo, trains are usually divided into several categories such as local, rapid, and special rapid. And be careful, because all of these trains stop at the same platform. Some trains can keep running for more than 10 minutes without stopping. So if you get on the wrong train, you could losing quite a bit of time. Next, let's talk about IC cards. To ride any of these trains, you'll need an IC card called Suica or Passmo. Of course, you can buy a paper ticket every time you ride a train, but that's pretty inconvenient, so I wouldn't recommend it. IC cards are also really useful in Japan because you can use them for all kinds of things, not just trains. You can use them at convenience stores, vending machines, and even some restaurants. So let's actually buy an IC card. Inside a station, you'll usually find an area with ticket machines like this. There are several types of ticket machines, but when you want to buy an IC card, please use the black ticket machines. You cannot buy an IC card from the other machine. Switch the machine to the English menu, then select Purchase New Suica and choose Blank Suica. You can choose how much money to charge onto the card when you buy it, including the 500 yen deposit. I choose 1000 yen, but that amount runs out very quickly, so I recommend charging more. Insert the money and wait for a moment, and the IC card will be issued. Pretty easy, right? Now let's actually take a train. To figure out which train to take and which station to use, Google Maps will tell you pretty much everything you need to know. There are some dedicated transit apps, but I personally just use Google Maps. It's very easy to understand, so I don't think you really need to download anything else. Today, we are going to travel from Oimachi station to Omotesando station. If you type Omotesando station into the map, it will automatically show you the best route. Of course, delays or cancellations might not always show up, so it's not always perfectly accurate. But trains in Tokyo usually come every 5 minutes or so. So even if you miss one or there's a delay, following the suggested route usually works just fine. According to the map, we should take the 1158 Rinkai line train bound for Kawagoe, and then it seems we need to transfer to the Ginza line at Shibuya station. Here at the station entrance, you can see a sign showing the station name, along with several symbols next to it. These symbols show which train line you can access from this entrance. For example, here you can see the JR line, the Tokyu line, and the Rinkai line. So before entering the station, make sure the lines you want to take is listed on the sign. Now let's go to the ticket gate. Since we are taking the Rinkai line, we go this way. With money already on your IC card, you simply tap the card here and the gate will open automatically. But if you don't have enough money on the card, the gate will close and make a warning sound. If you do that during rush hour, you might get some cold looks from salaryman behind you, so be careful. The platform number is 1, so let's head over there. And here we are at the platform. Every platform has an electronic display board like this. It shows the departure time and the destination of the next trains. It's the 11:58 Rinkai Line train bound for Kawagoe. That's correct. When you check your route on Google Maps, one of the most important things to look at is the platform number. That's because in most stations, each platform is assigned specific line and direction. So once you understand that system, navigating Tokyo's trains becomes much easier. Alright, let's get on the train. The Rinkai line is operated by a company called Tokyo Waterfront Area Rapid Transit. But this train continues directly onto the JR Saikyo line. So while you are riding, the line might suddenly switch to another railway company. This happens quite often in Tokyo, so if it feels confusing at first, don't worry. That's just how the system works here. Now we have arrived at Shibuya Station. We started at Oimachi and now we are at JR Shibuya Station. From here, we are going to transfer to the Ginza line. So now we are going to look for Ginza line sign. Even we Japanese don't really understand the layout of huge stations like Shibuya. So what we usually do is just find the sign or the line we want to take and follow it. The Ginza line is operated by Tokyo Metro and it's technically a different station from the JR station. So we pass through this transfer gate here. It connects directly to the Ginza line platform. When you switch between different railway companies, you usually need to pass through a transfer gate like this. Once you go through the transfer gate, the platform is right ahead. Now we are going through the ticket gate to enter Shibuya Station for the Tokyo Metro. The sign says the Ginza line bound for Asakusa, so this is the train we want. The Ginza line is technically a subway, but depending on the station, parts of it can actually be above ground like this. That can definitely be confusing for first-time visitors. Looks like Omotesando is just one stop from Shibuya. Alright, we have arrived at Omotesando. Now we need to find the exit. Subway stations in Tokyo are usually divided into exits like A1, A2, A3, and so on. The problem is that it can be very hard to tell which exit leads to where, and sometimes it's surprisingly difficult to reach the exact exit you want. So my recommendation is simple. Just take the closest exit you see and go outside first. It's usually much easier to figure out where you are once you are above ground rather than wandering around underground. And that's it. We made it to Omotesando. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If this video helped you out, please give it a like. And if there was anything that was still confusing, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. And I'll see you in the next video.